Hello, everyone. Oh, my dear, I know how it feels when love leaves the room. The air is thick with silence and the walls lean in, whispering the echoes of what used to be. Your heart, once full and steady, now stumbles through the empty spaces they left behind. But listen to me, listen good. This is not the end of you. You see, love is a mighty thing, but so is loss. And when one walks out, the other sits down beside you, folding its arms, daring you to rise. But rise you must, rise you will, cry if you need to, let the tears fall like the rain that washes the dust off weary roads. But don't you drown in that sorrow. Heartbreak is a visitor, not a tenant. It comes to teach, not to stay. The end of a love is not the end of love. You were whole before they arrived, and you are whole still. Love was never something they gave you, it was something you carried within you. And you still have it? Oh, yes, you do. Oh, my dear, let me tell you something you may have forgotten in the weight of your sorrow. You were whole before them, and you are whole after them. Yes, I know it may not feel that way right now. It feels like a piece of you has been taken, like something sacred has been stolen in the night. Your hands reach for what is no longer there, and your heart beats in a rhythm that doesn't quite feel like your own. But hear me when I say this. Your wholeness was never something they gave you. It was something you already had. Love is a beautiful thing, but too often we make it a mirror. We look into another person and believe that the way they see us is the way we exist. We measure our worth by the way they hold us, speak to us, stay with us, and when they go, it feels like they have taken the reflection with them, leaving us staring into nothing but shadows. But listen, love, you were not created by their love. You did not begin the day they walked into your life, and you will not end because they walked away. Before you ever knew the warmth of their touch, you knew the warmth of the sun on your skin. Before their laughter filled your days, you had your own reasons to smile. Before their voice called your name, you had a name, a life, a purpose, all your own. Do not let the loss of one love make you forget the abundance that still surrounds you. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it is lonely. Yes, the nights are long and the memories press in like waves that don't ask permission before they crash. But let them come. Let them wash over you, but do not let them convince you that you are broken beyond repair. You are not something that can be divided into halves. You are not missing pieces. You are not empty. You are here, standing, breathing, surviving, and that is proof enough that you are whole. Wholeness does not mean you do not feel pain. It does not mean you do not grieve. It does not mean you do not miss them or wonder why things fell apart. Wholeness means that even in your sorrow, even in your quiet moments, even in the space they used to fill, you are still you. Your essence has not left you. Your light has not dimmed. Your story has not ended. And let me tell you something else. Just because love has left does not mean it will not return. But when it does, it will not come to complete you because you are already complete. It will not come to heal you because you will have healed yourself. It will not come to save you because you, my dear, were never lost. So stand tall. Lift your head, carry your heart gently, but know that it is still beating, still strong, still full. And when the time comes, when the pain has softened into wisdom, when the ache has turned into strength, you will see it. You never needed someone else to be whole. You always were. I know how it feels to watch love slip away. I know the weight of an ending. The way it settles in your chest like a storm refusing to pass. It feels final, doesn't it? Like the book has closed and there are no more pages left to turn. But hear me now. Heartbreak is a chapter, not the whole book. You may feel like this pain will stretch across the rest of your days, like the sorrow will follow you wherever you go. You wake up and it is there. You walk through your day and it lingers. You lie down at night and it curls up beside you, whispering the names of moments you can't seem to forget. But pain is not permanent. It does not own you. It is merely passing through. Do not make the mistake of believing that just because a chapter was beautiful, it was meant to last forever. Some love comes like the summer, warm, bright, full of life, and then fades with the season, and that is not a failure. That is not a reason to mourn endlessly. That is just the way of things. Some stories are meant to teach us, to shape us, to remind us what it means to love, to lose, to feel. But no single story defines you. No single love completes you. When you close a book, it does not mean the story was not worth reading. When you turn a page, it does not mean the previous words have lost their meaning. They remain a part of you, a lesson woven into your soul. But they are not the end of you. Oh no, you are still writing. Your story is still unfolding. Heartbreak will try to convince you that everything good is behind you, that love will not come again, that joy is something you have lost. But listen to me, that is nothing but the echo of pain speaking. Pain is loud, but it is not truth. Truth is softer, but it lasts longer. And the truth is this: there is more ahead. More love, more laughter, more moments that will make your soul sing. This ending is not your final destination. It is merely a pause before the next great thing. So let yourself grieve, but do not let yourself give up. Let yourself cry, but do not let yourself believe that the tears will last forever. Let yourself remember, but do not let those memories chain you to the past. You are not meant to stay in the same place. You are meant to move forward, to turn the page, to step into the life that is still waiting for you. And one day, oh, one day soon, you will wake up and the pain will be quieter. The sadness will no longer grip you so tightly. You will look back and see that this heartbreak was not the end. It was simply a chapter, one of many in the long and beautiful story of you. I know you want to push this pain away. You want to outrun it, to drown it out with noise, to pretend it was never here. But pain is a stubborn thing. It does not vanish just because we wish it. It settles in the corners of your heart, waiting for you to notice it, waiting for you to listen. And I tell you this not to burden you, but to remind you. Let the pain teach you, but don't let it define you. Pain is not your enemy. I know it feels that way now. I know you see it as the thing standing between you and happiness. But pain, when met with open hands instead of clenched fists, has something to give. It holds wisdom in its grasp, lessons wrapped in sorrow, growth disguised as suffering. And if you let it, if you are brave enough to sit with it, you will see that it is not here to destroy you. It is here to shape you. Heartbreak is a teacher, though a cruel one at times. It teaches you the truth about yourself, what you long for, what you fear, what you are made of. It pulls you apart, yes, but only so you can see what truly belongs and what was never meant to stay. It reveals the places where you gave too much, where you settled for less, where you silence your own voice just to keep another's close. And oh, if you listen, it will teach you how to love better, how to love yourself, how to love without losing yourself, how to choose love that chooses you back. But do not let this pain name you. Do not let it become your identity. You are not your heartbreak. You are not your loss. You are not the hurt that lingers in your chest. Yes, you have been wounded, but you are not broken. Yes, you have suffered, but you are not suffering itself. Too many people wear their pain like a second skin, letting it seep into their bones, letting it become the lens through which they see the world. But you, my dear, you must refuse to carry it forever. You must take what it has taught you and leave the rest behind. Do not let it harden you. Do not let it make you fearful. Do not let it close your heart to the love that is still waiting for you. Because love is not done with you yet. One day you will wake up and the lesson will remain, but the ache will not. The wisdom will stay, but the weight will lift. You will look back, not with bitterness, but with knowing. And when that day comes, you will see This pain did not come to break you, it came to build you into something stronger, something wiser, something more. I see you there holding your heart in trembling hands, wondering if it still belongs to you, wondering if love left when they did, if it was something they carried away piece by piece with every goodbye they never said, with every promise they never kept. But hear me now and hear me well. Your love was never dependent on their presence. It still lives within you. Love is not something given and taken like a gift passed from hand to hand. It is not something borrowed from another, something that vanishes when they go. No, love is something you create, something you nurture, something that rises from within you like the sun, steady and sure. What you gave to them was not lost. It was proof of the depth of your heart, proof that you had love to give in the first place. And that love, it is still here. I know it may not feel that way. I know you may feel empty, as if all the warmth you once carried has faded into the cold. You reach for the love you once knew, and your hands close around nothing but air, but that does not mean love is gone. It means love is waiting to be found in new places, in new ways, in the quiet spaces of your own soul. Too often we believe love exists only in another's arms, that it is something we must seek outside of ourselves. But my dear, love is not a destination, not a person, not a fleeting moment in time. Love is in you. It always was. You felt it when you laughed until you couldn't breathe, when you stood beneath the stars and felt the vastness of the world settle into your bones. You felt it when music wrapped around you like an embrace, when the scent of the earth after rain made you pause, when you gave kindness without expecting anything in return. Love was never only theirs to give. You carried it long before they arrived, and you will carry it long after they are gone. Yes, they were part of the story, but they were not the whole story. They were a chapter, not the author. And my dear, you are the author. You hold the pen, and love is still yours to write. Do not let their absence fool you into believing you are unloved. Do not let the echoes of their footsteps convince you that love has left you behind. You are still here, and where you are, love is. It is in the way you care, in the way you hope, in the way you still dare to dream despite the ache in your chest. It is in the way you rise again and again, refusing to let heartbreak define the rest of your days. One day, when the weight of this sorrow has lifted, you will see it clearly. You will see that love was never something you lost. It was something you were. And my dear, you still are. I know how loss can trick you. I know how it whispers in the quiet, telling you that love has left with them, that their absence has taken something from you that can never be replaced. But listen to me now. Listen closely. The absence of one person does not mean the absence of love. Love is not a single face, a single voice, a single pair of arms that once held you close. Love is vast. It is infinite. It is not confined to the walls of one relationship, no matter how deep, no matter how beautiful. Love does not vanish because one person walks away. It is still here, waiting for you, all around you, within you. I know it doesn't feel that way. I know you have grown accustomed to seeking love in their presence, to measuring it by their touch, their words, the space they fill beside you. And now, in their absence, it feels like love has gone quiet, like the world has lost its warmth. But love is not gone, oh no. Love is too mighty, too boundless, too ever-present to disappear with the closing of one door. Look around you. Love is in the friend who sits with you in silence, who listens without judgment, who reminds you with every word and every glance that you are not alone. Love is in the family that has held you since before you knew how to stand, in the people who have carried you through storms you thought would drown you. Love is in the kindness of strangers, in the laughter of a child, in the way the world continues to turn, offering you sunrises that do not ask if you are ready for them. And love, my dear, is in you, in the way your heart still beats even when it aches, in the way you still wake up and face the day even when grief clings to your skin like the morning mist, in the way you still long for joy, still hope for something beautiful, still reach for light even when darkness tries to settle in. That is love. That is proof that love has never left you. Too often we tie love to one person, one experience, and when they leave, we believe love has left too. But love is not so small. Love is not so fragile. Love does not belong to just one. It belongs to all. It is in the moments we share, the hands we hold, the dreams we dare to believe in. And even now, even after loss, it is still yours. One day you will see it. You will feel it again. In places you did not think to look, you will wake up and love will no longer feel like a memory. It will feel like something present, something real, something yours. Because it always was, it always will be. I know how heavy it feels. I know how the weight of heartbreak settles into your bones. How grief clings to your skin like the last breath of winter. How every step forward feels like dragging yourself through a storm that refuses to pass. But listen to me now. Rise, even if it's slow, for healing is in the moving forward. There is no shame in how long it takes. No shame in how many times you have to remind yourself to breathe, to stand, to put one foot in front of the other. No shame in the days when you feel strong and the nights when you crumble under the weight of memories. Healing is not a race. It does not ask for speed, only for movement. And movement, my dear, is where life begins again. You may not feel ready. You may still wake up expecting to hear their voice in the quiet, still catch yourself reaching for a presence that is no longer there. But you do not have to be ready to begin. You do not have to be fearless to take the first step. Even if your heart is still aching, even if your hands are still trembling, move, get up, step forward. Healing does not find you sitting in the ruins. It finds you when you dare to walk away from them. And I know how tempting it is to stay there, to hold on to the pain because it is familiar, because it is the last thing that still connects you to what once was. But heartbreak is not a home, and grief is not a companion meant to stay. Let them visit, let them teach you, but do not let them keep you. You are meant for more than this sorrow. One step, that is all you need, not a leap, not a sprint, just one step. Maybe today it is as simple as getting out of bed, as making a cup of coffee, as stepping outside to let the sun remind you that the world is still turning. Maybe tomorrow it is a conversation, a walk, a moment where laughter catches you by surprise. And one day, you will realize that the weight is lighter, that your steps are stronger, that you are no longer surviving but living. Healing is not about forgetting. It is not about pretending it never mattered. It is about honoring the past while not letting it hold you captive. It is about knowing that love lost does not mean love will not come again. And it will, my dear, in ways you cannot yet see, in places you do not yet know, in a heart that is still learning how to beat freely again. So rise, even if it's slow, even if it hurts, even if you are not sure where you are going, because forward is the only way through, and healing is waiting for you there. I know how easy it is to believe that your greatest love story has already been written, that the pages filled with laughter and whispered promises, with hands held tightly and hearts beating in rhythm, were the best you would ever know. But hear me now. Your best love story is the one you write for yourself. For too long, we've been told that love is something we must find in another, that our happiness, our wholeness, our very worth are tied to the presence of someone else. And when they leave, it feels as if they have taken the story with them, ripped the pages from our hands, left us standing there with nothing but torn edges and unfinished sentences. But my dear, they were never the author. They were a chapter, a character in your journey. But the pen has always belonged to you. So write, Write your own love story, not one that depends on someone else's presence, not one that is shaped by someone else's choices, but one that is entirely, beautifully, unapologetically yours, a story where you are not waiting to be chosen, but choosing yourself every single day, a story where love is not something you chase, but something you cultivate within yourself, something that grows in the spaces where you learn to be kind to your own heart. Love yourself as fiercely as you once loved them. Love yourself in the mornings when the sun spills golden light through your window and you wake up to a world that is still full of possibility. Love yourself in the quiet moments, in the nights when the ache still lingers, in the hours when you wonder if you will ever feel that kind of love again. Love yourself in the way you move forward, in the way you dream, in the way you refuse to let heartbreak steal the joy that is still meant for you. And do not wait for someone else to show you the love you deserve. Show it to yourself. Buy yourself the flowers. Take yourself on the adventure. Speak kindly to your reflection. Treat your own soul with the gentleness you once reserved for another. Fill your days with the things that set your heart on fire, with the passions that make you feel alive, with the dreams that remind you that this life is still yours to shape, because love is not something you lose when a person walks away. Love is something you carry, something you create, something that lives within you. And when you build a life filled with love, love for the world, love for the moments, love for yourself, you will never feel empty again. One day you will look back and see that the greatest love story was not the one you lost. It was the one you wrote when you chose to love yourself enough to keep going, to keep growing, to keep believing that the best is still ahead. And oh my dear, it is. Oh my dear, look at you now, standing at the edge of what was, looking out at all that can be. You have walked through the storm, through the sorrow, through the nights that felt endless. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still rising, still holding the quiet hope that life has more to give. And oh, it does. This ending was never your final chapter. It was only a turn in the road, a lesson wrapped in heartache, a moment that came to teach you, not to break you. You have learned to let go, to listen to the wisdom of pain without letting it define you. You have seen that love was never lost, only waiting to be found in new places, in new ways, in the deepest parts of yourself. And most of all, you have discovered that healing is not about forgetting, but about honoring what was while stepping boldly into what will be. So go forward with grace. Carry love with you, not as a memory of what has been, but as a promise of all that is still to come. And when you doubt, when you stumble, when the weight of the past tries to call you back, remember this: you are the author of your own story, and the best pages are still waiting to be written. I wish you love. I wish you strength. I wish you the kind of joy that finds you when you least expect it. And above all, I wish you the courage to keep moving forward, knowing that the best is yet to come. Good luck, my dear, and thank you for allowing me to walk with you, even if just for a little while. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to talk about something that has wrapped its fingers around too many hearts, squeezed too many minds, and left too many souls weary. Stress. It lingers in our daily lives, in our work, in our homes, and even in the silent corners of our hearts. But hear me when I say this. Stress does not own you, it does not define you, and it surely does not have to break you. Now, I won't stand here and tell you that life will always be easy, that the road will always be smooth. No, my dear friends, life will test you. It will send storms to shake you. And there will be days when the weight of the world feels like too much to bear. But I have learned that stress is not the enemy, it is the lesson. And learning how to carry your burdens without letting them carry you is the greatest gift you can give yourself. So how do we do that? How do we take control when the tides of life feel too strong? Let me share with you 6 guiding principles that have been whispered in the ears of the weary, written in the books of the wise, and lived by those who have refused to let stress steal their joy. When life presses in on you, when the weight of the world sits heavy on your chest, and your thoughts race faster than your feet can carry you, pause. Close your eyes. Place a hand over your heart and take a deep, intentional breath. Inhale slowly. Let the air fill your lungs. Feel it expand your rib cage. Hold it for a moment and then exhale, releasing the tension, the worry, the noise. Breathing is the first thing we do when we enter this world, and it will be the last thing we do before we leave. But somewhere in between, we forget its power. We rush through our days taking shallow, hurried breaths, unaware that our own body holds the key to calmness. You see, breathing isn't just a reflex, it is a tool, a gift, a bridge between chaos and clarity. When stress takes hold of you, it often shows up in your body before your mind even recognizes it. Your shoulders tense, your jaw tightens, your heart beats faster, and suddenly you feel overwhelmed. But when you take control of your breath, you take control of your response. Deep, mindful breathing sends a signal to your nervous system. I am safe, I am in control, I am grounded. It slows the racing heart, eases the tension in your muscles, and clears the fog from your thoughts. Try this. The next time stress threatens to steal your peace, take a moment for yourself. Find a quiet space, even if it's just a corner of the room or a few seconds behind closed eyes. Breathe in through your nose for 4 slow counts. Hold that breath for 4 counts, and then exhale through your mouth for another 4. Feel the air move through you. Imagine it sweeping away the stress, carrying it far from your body. Breathing with intention is not just about managing stress in the moment. It's about training yourself to respond to life's challenges with grace. It's about creating a habit of stillness in a world that never stops moving. So, when the world feels too loud, when your worries feel too big and you don't know what else to do, breathe. The words we speak to ourselves shape the way we see the world, the way we move through life, and the way we handle stress. Too often we carry words heavier than any burden, words of doubt, fear, and self-criticism. We say, I'm not good enough, I'm failing, I can't do this. We repeat these words until they settle deep in our bones, making a home in our hearts, convincing us they are truth. But they are not truth. They are merely echoes of fear. Imagine if you spoke to a child the way you speak to yourself. If a child came to you struggling, feeling small, feeling lost, would you say, you're not smart enough, you'll never get it right, you're not worth it? No, you wouldn't dream of it. You would kneel down, look them in the eyes and say, you are trying and that is enough. You are learning and that is beautiful. You are worthy just as you are. So why do we not give ourselves the same grace? We live in a world that demands so much of us. Perfection, productivity, endless strength. And when we fall short, as human beings inevitably do, we are quick to punish ourselves. But hear me when I say this. You are not here to be perfect. You are not here to check off every box and meet every expectation. You are here to live, to grow, to stumble and rise again. And in every stage of that journey, you deserve kindness. From others, yes, but most importantly, from yourself. The words you speak to yourself in moments of stress and hardship matter. They become the script that plays in your mind, the foundation upon which you build your resilience. So choose them wisely. When you are overwhelmed, instead of saying, I can't handle this, try saying, I will take this one step at a time. When you feel like a failure, instead of saying, I always mess things up, try saying, I am learning, and every mistake is a lesson. Kindness is not just something we give to others. It is something we must extend to ourselves. It is in the way we forgive ourselves for past mistakes, the way we allow ourselves to rest when we are weary, the way we remind ourselves that we are worthy of love even when we feel unworthy. So today, I challenge you. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and say something kind. Say, I am doing my best, and that is enough. Say, I am strong. Say, I deserve peace. It may feel strange at first. It may feel unnatural, but speak it anyway. Speak it until you believe it. Speak it until kindness is the only language you use when you talk to yourself, because you are listening, and what you tell yourself again and again will become the story you live. There are things in this life that you will never be able to control, no matter how much you plan, no matter how much you prepare, no matter how much you worry. The weather will shift without your permission. People will leave when you want them to stay. Time will move forward whether you are ready or not. And the harder you hold on, the more you will exhaust yourself trying to change things that were never yours to change. Let me ask you, have you ever stood by the ocean and tried to hold the waves in your hands? Have you ever clenched your fists around the wind, hoping to keep it from blowing away? You can try, but the sea will slip through your fingers, and the wind will pass through you as if you weren't even there. Some things are meant to move as they will. Some things are meant to be released, not controlled, and yet we fight. We hold on to worry as if it is a form of protection. We believe that if we just think hard enough, stress enough, push enough, we can bend the world to our will. But what has worry ever given you except sleepless nights and a weary heart? What has control ever brought you except frustration when life refuses to obey? I know letting go is not easy. I know it feels unnatural. We want certainty. We want security. We want to know that if we try hard enough, we can shape the outcome. But life does not work that way. Life is unpredictable, and trying to control everything is like trying to hold water in your hands. It will only leave you empty and tired. So what do? Instead? We surrender. Not in weakness, but in wisdom. We learn to recognize the difference between what is within our power and what is not. We let go of the weight that is not ours to carry. We focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our reaction, our mindset. We choose to move forward with grace instead of frustration, with peace instead of resistance. When you find yourself spiraling into stress, ask yourself, is this something I can change? Is this something I can influence? Or is this something I must simply accept? If you cannot change it, then let it be. Release it. Give yourself permission to stop carrying what is not yours. You deserve that peace. The seasons will change. People will come and go. Life will twist and turn in ways you never expected. You cannot control the waves, but you can learn to ride them. You cannot stop the storm, but you can choose how you stand in the rain. So take a deep breath, unclench your fists, and let go. Trust that whatever is meant for you will find its way, and what is not meant for you will drift away, no matter how tightly you try to hold on. And in that release, you will find something far greater than control. You will find freedom. In a world that moves too fast and a life that demands so much, it is easy to believe that Happiness is something waiting for us in the distance, something grand, something life-changing, something that will finally make everything feel complete. We tell ourselves, I'll be happy when I get that job, when I have more money, when I finally reach my goal, when life is easier. But what if joy isn't in the big things? What if joy is not some far-off destination, but something that already exists, scattered in small, quiet moments all around us? Think about the last time you felt truly at peace. Maybe it was the warmth of the morning sun on your skin. Maybe it was the sound of rain against your window, the laughter of a friend, the smell of coffee brewing in the kitchen. Maybe it was the way a stranger smiled at you in passing, or the comfort of slipping into bed after a long, tiring day. These moments are small, but they are powerful. They are reminders that joy is not something we need to chase. It is something we need to notice. But the truth is, most of us are too busy, too caught up in the noise of life to pay attention. We spend so much time worrying about the past or planning for the future that we forget to live in the present. We overlook the little things because they seem insignificant compared to our bigger dreams, our bigger problems, our bigger plans. But what if the little things are what truly matter? Let's take a child as an example. Watch how they marvel at the simplest things, a butterfly resting on a flower, the way their shadow follows them as they run, the way the sky changes color at sunset. They don't need a perfect life to find joy. They don't need everything to go their way. They simply see joy because they are present in the moment. And somewhere along the way, as we grow older, we forget how to do that. So, how do we find joy in the little things? Life is not a race, and stress will always try to push you forward too quickly. Take time to pause, take a deep breath, pay attention to the world around you. There is beauty in the details, but you have to be still long enough to see it. Instead of focusing on what's missing, focus on what's already here. Keep a journal, make a mental note, or simply say it out loud. I am grateful for this moment. I am grateful for the small joys today. Gratitude turns ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. Feel the warmth of a hot drink in your hands. Listen to the birds singing in the morning. Smell the fresh air after it rains. Taste your favorite food slowly, savoring every bite. The more you engage with the world around you, the more joy you will find in it. Don't wait for a reason to celebrate. Dance in your kitchen just because. Wear your favorite outfit, even if no one will see it. Play your favorite song and sing along loudly. Life is too short to hold back on the small things that make you happy. A conversation with a loved one, a shared meal, a moment of laughter. These are the treasures of life. Cherish them. Prioritize them. In the end, it's not the big accomplishments we remember most, but the little moments of connection. Finding joy in the little things doesn't mean ignoring the struggles of life. It doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means allowing yourself to find light even on the darkest days. It means reminding yourself that no matter what you're going through, there is still beauty, still warmth, still goodness all around you. So don't wait for happiness to come in some grand sweeping moment. Look for it now. Look for it in the small things, the quiet things, the things you once took for granted. Because when you start to see them, you will realize they were never little at all. They were everything. Somewhere along the way, we were taught that rest is a luxury, that slowing down means falling behind, that taking time for ourselves is selfish. We live in a world that glorifies exhaustion, that praises those who work through the night, who never take breaks, who push themselves to the edge just to prove their worth. But let me tell you something. Rest is not a weakness. Rest is not laziness. Rest is survival. Think about nature. The sun does not shine 24 hours a day. The tides rise and they fall. The trees shed their leaves in the autumn, not because they are dying, but because they are preparing for something new. The seasons remind us that everything in life, including us, needs time to slow down, to recover, to gather strength for what comes next. So why do we deny ourselves that same grace? When you are tired, truly tired, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, what do you do? Do you push through? Do you tell yourself, I just need to keep going, even when your body and mind are screaming for relief? Or do you pause, listen, and allow yourself to rest? We have been conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to our productivity, that we are only valuable when we are achieving, working, accomplishing. But you are not a machine. You are not meant to run endlessly without pause. Your body was built to need rest. Your mind was designed to need stillness. Your soul was created to need peace. Denying yourself rest does not make you stronger. It makes you weaker, more drained, more disconnected from yourself. You do not have to reach the point of exhaustion before you give yourself permission to slow down. You do not need to wait until burnout consumes you before you take a breath. Rest is something you deserve simply because you exist, because you are human, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. So let me say this clearly. Rest, and do not apologize for it. Rest when your body aches from carrying too much. Rest when your mind is overwhelmed with too many thoughts. Rest when your heart is heavy from trying too hard. Rest when you are tired, and rest even before you get there. Take the nap without guilt. Turn off your phone without explanation. Say no to commitments that drain you. Sit in the quiet without feeling like you need to be doing something. Give yourself the same kindness and care that you so freely give to others. And most importantly, understand that rest is not just about sleeping. Rest is whatever renews your spirit. Maybe it's reading a book, maybe it's walking in nature, maybe it's sitting in silence with a cup of tea. Maybe it's laughing with a friend, journaling your thoughts, or simply allowing yourself to do absolutely nothing without shame. The world will keep moving, even if you take a break. The responsibilities will still be there when you return. But you will be stronger. You will be clearer. You will be whole. So rest. Not because you have to prove that you deserve it, but because you are human, and that is reason enough. Life will test you. It will shake you, stretch you, and at times it will break you. There will be moments when the weight feels unbearable, when the road ahead seems unclear, when everything you thought you could count on shifts beneath your feet. In those moments, it is easy to believe you have to carry it all alone, to think that strength means standing tall without bending, without reaching, without needing. But listen to me. You were never meant to do this alone. Love exists for a reason. It is the steady ground beneath us when everything else feels uncertain. It is the outstretched hand when we stumble. It is the quiet presence beside us when words fail. Love is not just romance, not just poetry in books or grand gestures on a silver screen. Love is the friend who calls just to check on you. Love is the family member who reminds you who you are when you forget. Love is the stranger who offers kindness without expecting anything in return. And yet, we hesitate to lean on love. We convince ourselves that asking for help is weakness. We think that needing someone means we are not strong enough, not independent enough. But real strength is knowing when to lean in. Real strength is understanding that love is not a burden, it is a lifeline. When your heart is heavy, when your spirit is weary, when your mind is clouded with worry, do not retreat into isolation. Do not let pride or fear convince you that you must walk alone. Instead, lean into the people who care about you. Let them remind you that you are not alone, that your burdens can be shared, that your pain does not have to be carried in silence. Sometimes love is spoken in words. I'm here for you. You are not alone. You don't have to go through this by yourself. But often, love is quieter. It's a hand on your shoulder when you need reassurance. It's a knowing glance across the room that says, I see you. It's the friend who sits beside you in silence, understanding that sometimes presence means more than words. Leaning on love is not just about receiving it, it is about giving it freely, without hesitation, without keeping score, because the more love we pour into the world, the more it comes back to us. Love is a cycle, an energy that grows the more we share it. Be that person who checks in on someone even when they say they're fine. Be the person who listens with their whole heart. Be the person who extends grace, who offers kindness, who makes someone else's burden a little lighter simply by standing beside them. Not just when things are easy, but when they're hard. Not just when life is joyful, but when it is messy, uncertain, painful. Love is what will keep you going when you feel like you have nothing left. Love is what will remind you that no matter how heavy life feels, you are not alone. So lean. Let yourself be loved. Let yourself give love, because in the end, love is the only thing that truly matters, and it will always, always catch you when you fall. Life is a journey filled with moments of joy and moments of challenge, times of clarity and times of uncertainty. Along the way, stress will come, it is inevitable, but how we respond to it, how we care for ourselves, and how we allow love to guide us will define the peace we carry in our hearts. Breathe with intention. Let each inhale remind you that you are alive, and let each exhale release what no longer serves you. Speak kindness over yourself, for the words you say shape the world you live in. Let go of what you cannot control, understanding that peace is found not in holding on, but in surrendering with grace. Find joy in the little things, for happiness is not a destination. It is hidden in the small, quiet moments of every day. Rest without apology, knowing that you are not required to burn yourself out to prove your worth. And above all, lean on love, for love is the foundation of all strength, the force that carries us through life's storms. As you move forward, remember this: you are not alone. You are deserving of rest. You are capable of joy. And most importantly, you are worthy of love, both from others and from yourself. So choose peace, choose care, choose to walk through life with gentleness, knowing that true strength is not found in constant struggle, but in the ability to embrace grace, stillness, and love.
Good morning. There comes a moment when the soul grows weary of silence, a moment when the weight of disregard presses heavy on the chest, and the sting of disrespect leaves an invisible mark on the spirit. You feel it in the hush after a careless comment, in the shrug of someone who should have cared. You feel it in rooms where your presence is ignored and in conversations where your worth is reduced to background noise. But let me remind you of something. You were not made to be dismissed. You were not brought into this world to bow before the smallness of others. There will always be people who cannot see your light because they have not yet lit their own. People who will speak to you with sharp tongues because they have known no softness. They will try to pull you down, not because you are low, but because you stand too tall for their comfort. But even in the presence of such voices, you must remember your name, remember who you are before they tried to tell you who you were not. The temptation to fight back in their language is strong, to throw stones when you are hit, to shout when you are silenced. But power does not lie in mimicry. It lives in dignity. And dignity does not beg for validation. Dignity does not shrink to be accepted. It does not chase those who walk away. You can look a person in the eye who fails to respect you and still walk away whole, because their lack of respect is not your lack of worth. Let me say that again. Their lack of respect is not your lack of worth. You rise above not because you are weak, but because you are wise. You choose not to match their bitterness because bitterness eats from the inside. And you know this. You know that the one who belittles others is revealing their own fear, their own hurt, their own battles they have not yet faced. So you do not become them. You do not carry their wounds as your own. You carry grace. You carry strength. You carry the quiet power of someone who knows their value, does not shift with someone else's opinion. There is something sacred about knowing your worth. It is not loud. It does not need to shout over the noise. It does not demand attention, nor does it seek approval. It simply is. Like the ocean that does not ask the shore if it may rise, like the stars that never wait for the night to remind them to shine. Your worth is not a question, it is a truth. And when you stand in the full awareness of that truth, the disrespect of others loses its power to shape your sense of self. Too often we give others the permission to write our value in their language. We let their careless words weigh more than our inner knowing. We internalize the echoes of their dismissiveness and begin to doubt our own place in the world. But let us be clear, just because someone cannot see your value does not mean it has disappeared. A blind man may not see the sun rise, but the sun still rises. A closed heart may not feel your kindness, but the love within you still flows. Do not surrender your truth because someone else has forgotten theirs. It is easy to feel shaken when others treat you with disregard. It can pierce deeper than we like to admit. The human heart, after all, was made to connect. It was made to be seen, heard, and held with respect. But when that respect is denied, the choice becomes ours. Will we absorb their ignorance, or will we stand rooted in our own truth? Will we let their words twist our spirit, or will we return to the quiet place inside us that remembers who we are? The world will not always offer you the courtesy you deserve. Some people will misjudge you, overlook you, talk down to you, or try to box you in with their smallness. But you must not shrink. You must not fold yourself to fit into someone else's comfort. You are not here to please those who cannot recognize your value. You are here to walk in the fullness of your being, with or without applause. Knowing your worth means you stop explaining yourself to those who refuse to listen. You stop lowering your standards to make someone else feel tall. You stop chasing after validation like a thirsty soul in a desert. Because once you truly know who you are, you understand that peace does not come from being liked. It comes from being real, from being whole, from being deeply connected to yourself, even when others are disconnected from you. You do not need to beg for respect. Respect, like love, is most meaningful when given freely. If someone withholds it, that says more about the cracks in their character than any lack in yours. You were not made to earn basic human decency. You were made to carry your worth like breath in your lungs. Constant, essential, unshakable. And when others try to strip it from you, you return to that breath. You return to your knowing. You return to the truth that no voice, no insult, no dismissal can erase what was born into you. This knowing does not make you proud in the way the world defines pride. It makes you steady. It makes you unbothered by the shallow tides. You no longer feel the need to convince people to treat you right. You simply choose not to stay where you are not honored. You walk away without bitterness, not because you are weak, but because your soul was not meant to beg for what should be given with love. And yes, it takes strength to do this. It takes courage to walk away from what is familiar. It takes faith to trust that solitude is better than company that bruises your spirit. But once you learn to choose yourself over their disrespect, you begin to attract better friendships, better environments, better energy. Because what you allow teaches the world how to treat you. And when you begin with self-respect, the rest begins to shift. So when someone disrespects you, do not ask what is wrong with you. Ask why they believe their behavior is acceptable. And then decide whether you will continue to share your time, your energy, your light with someone who refuses to handle it with care. Let your worth be your guide. Let it remind you to rise again and again, no matter who tries to hold you down. There comes a time in every journey when you must choose peace over chaos, even if that means walking away from voices that once stood close. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can control how close you let them stand. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is survival. It is the quiet act of choosing your mental and emotional well-being over the noise of disrespect. When someone makes you feel less, when their presence shakes your calm or cuts into your joy, it is not your duty to endure. It is your right to protect your space. We often learn to carry the weight of people who speak to us without care. We excuse their tone, overlook their silence, dismiss the tension they bring into the room, just to keep the connection alive. But at what cost? At what point does your peace become too expensive to buy with your silence? Every time you let someone violate your spirit in the name of understanding, you teach yourself that your peace is worth less than their presence. And that is a lesson you must unlearn. Boundaries are not built in anger. They are not walls made to punish or isolate. They are lines drawn in love, first for yourself and then for those who choose to stay. When you draw those lines, you are not saying you do not care. You are saying you care too much to let the damage continue. You are saying, I love me enough to not let you break me. You are saying, this is where your behavior ends and my peace begins. That is not cruelty, that is clarity. People who respect you will never fear your boundaries. They will understand them, honor them, and grow through them. But those who feed off your silence, those who thrive in the chaos they bring to your life, they will try to guilt you when you finally decide to step away. They will call you cold. They will call you distant. They will call you anything but healed. Do not let their words pull you back into places you had to fight to leave. Do not trade your peace for their approval. You were not made to live in a constant state of defense. You were not made to tiptoe through conversations, bracing for the next insult masked as a joke, the next jab hidden in a smile. You were made to rest, to breathe easy, to speak freely without fear. And when people rob you of that ease, that softness, that sense of belonging within your own life, it is time to make a choice, not in rage, not in revenge, but in quiet, rooted certainty, the kind that does not argue, the kind that simply walks away. You do not need to explain your boundaries to those who never care to understand your pain. You do not owe them access to your heart just because they once had it. Let them wonder why the door no longer opens for them. Let them sit with the silence they created. You are not cold for choosing peace. You are not cruel for protecting your joy. You are simply done sacrificing your soul for the comfort of people who refuse to change. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to say less and step back more. Let your absence speak where your presence was once taken for granted. Let your distance be the mirror they must face, and let your life flourish in the quiet spaces where respect and love still live. Your peace is not negotiable. It is not something to gamble with or give away in exchange for temporary company. When you protect your peace, you protect your mind, your spirit, your power. And that power grows. It grows in the silence. It grows in the stillness. It grows when you realize you do not need chaos to feel connected. You just need truth. And truth lives in the heart of peace. So when the disrespect comes, do not rise in anger. Rise in clarity. Rise in strength. Rise in silence if you must. But above all, rise with your peace intact. Let them go if they must go. Let them misunderstand if they must. But do not let them steal the calm you fought so hard to create. When people speak to you without kindness, when they aim their words like arrows meant to pierce, the instinct to strike back can feel almost natural. The desire to match fire with fire, to return the wound with a sharper one, burns in the chest like a second heartbeat. But in those moments when the heat of disrespect rises in your body, that is when you must choose differently. You must choose grace, not for them, for you. Because grace is not weakness. Grace is power wrapped in calm. It is the quiet decision to stay in control of your own energy, even when others are throwing chaos your way. Grace is not silence that comes from fear. It is silence that comes from strength. It is standing tall without the need to prove yourself right. It is knowing that when someone throws disrespect at you, it does not define you, it defines them. Their lack of manners, their sharp tongue, their inability to honor your presence, that is a mirror of their struggle, not a reflection of your worth. And when you carry grace, you no longer feel the urge to defend your dignity in places where it should have been recognized in the first place. Let them speak with cruelty, let them mock, ignore, dismiss. You do not have to absorb their energy. You do not have to make their bitterness your burden. Grace teaches you to listen without reacting, to feel without lashing out, not because you are numb, but because you are wise. Because you know that anger is loud, but grace is lasting. You know that screaming may feel powerful in the moment, but peace speaks the loudest in the end. There's a quiet kind of revenge that comes through grace. Not the kind that aims to hurt, but the kind that shows you are untouched. The kind that shows no matter how they try to shake you, you are still rooted. You still speak with kindness. You still carry yourself with gentleness. You still live with compassion, not because of them, but in spite of them. That is strength they will never understand. That is power they will never break. Grace does not mean you stay silent forever. It does not mean you allow people to mistreat you without consequence. No, grace allows you to respond without losing your peace. It lets you speak truth without poison on your tongue. It lets you walk away without a trail of bitterness behind you. Because the moment you respond with their same level of disrespect, you lower yourself to their understanding. And you were never meant to dwell in that space. You were meant to rise. You will be tested. People will poke at your patience, push your buttons, question your kindness. Some will mistake your calm for weakness, your forgiveness for foolishness. Let them. Let them misread your grace. Let them underestimate the quiet fire you carry,
Because grace is not for the shallow-hearted. It is for those who have seen the storm and chosen to become the stillness. When you respond with grace, you remind yourself that your emotions do not control you. You remind yourself that peace is not something others can steal unless you hand it to them. You step out of the battlefield not because you cannot fight, but because you have nothing to prove. That is dignity. That is self-mastery. That is the kind of power no insult can touch. Some battles are not worth fighting because they are beneath the height you've grown to. And the deeper you know your worth, the easier it becomes to walk away with your spirit unshaken. You do not need to raise your voice to be heard. You do not need to win every argument to prove your value. Sometimes the greatest victory is choosing not to be pulled into their storm, standing still while the wind blows and remaining at peace. So the next time someone disrespects you, pause, breathe, listen to that deep voice within that knows the truth, and let grace lead you out of the noise, back into yourself, where calm lives, where strength waits. Carry that with you always. Not everyone is meant to walk with you through every season of your life. Some people were only meant to teach you something, to show you something, to awaken something. And once their part is done, it becomes clear they can no longer grow beside you. This truth becomes even more real when you recognize the weight of their presence more than the warmth of it. When someone consistently disrespects you, diminishes you, or disregards the heart you offer, you must learn to step back. You must learn to guard the light within you and understand that not everyone deserves to stand near it. Distance is not about revenge. It is about clarity. It is about knowing when a connection has become more draining than nourishing. You cannot continue to pour love, time, and energy into people who refuse to meet you with the same measure of care. There is no strength in staying where you are constantly made to feel small. There is no wisdom in hoping for change in someone who does not see a problem with how they treat you. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to stop waiting for their respect and start walking in your own. You were never created to be someone's second thought. You were never meant to remain in places where you are barely tolerated, where your voice is ignored, where your soul has to beg to be seen. People who truly see you will not make you question your worth. They will not force you to shrink to fit their comfort. And if someone consistently brings you pain masked as love or silence disguised as peace, it's time to loosen the hold. Creating distance is not about proving a point. It is not about making anyone feel the absence they caused. It is about self-preservation. It is about protecting your softness from those who mistake it for weakness. You cannot allow yourself to be molded by the disregard of others, because if you stay in that space too long, you begin to adopt their treatment of you as your truth. You begin to see yourself through the lens of their carelessness, and that is a price too high to pay for any relationship. The truth is, people will only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. Some hearts have never learned how to honor another. Some eyes have never been trained to see real beauty in another soul. And no matter how much good you bring, no matter how many chances you give, they will not rise to meet you if they have not risen within themselves. That is not your burden to carry. Your job is not to fix someone's inability to respect. Your job is to walk away from what is no longer serving your growth. Distance does not always mean goodbye forever. Sometimes it simply means choosing peace over pressure, choosing quiet over conflict, choosing healing over hoping someone will change. When you create that space, you begin to breathe again. You begin to see more clearly who you are without their shadow casting over your spirit. You begin to remember the sound of your own thoughts, the rhythm of your own joy, unshaken by their mood, their tone, their silence. In the space you create, you reclaim yourself. You find strength not in holding on, but in letting go of what hurts. You begin to rise in your own light, independent of the opinions that once weighed you down. You are no longer tied to their validation. You are no longer tangled in the hope that they'll finally treat you right. You have chosen something far greater, your own well-being. It takes courage to choose distance. It takes wisdom to realize that your time, your heart, and your energy are sacred. And not everyone has earned the right to receive them. Let them go with love if you must, but let them go. Because the moment you do, you make room for better. You make room for peace. You make room for people who see you clearly, who treat you kindly, who walk beside you with honor. And you deserve that. You always have. There's a quiet kind of strength and self-respect, the kind that doesn't need to raise its voice or seek approval to be heard. It's not flashy, it doesn't compete, and it doesn't need to beg for recognition. It just is. It sits within you like a steady flame, calm and consistent, even when the world tries to put it out. When someone disrespects you, the most powerful thing you can do is allow your self-respect to speak louder than their disregard. Not through retaliation or harsh words, but through the way you hold yourself. Through the way you choose to carry dignity in spaces where others bring disorder. You do not need to explain to someone why their words hurt, why their behavior crossed the line, why their silence wounded more than noise ever could. If they cared enough, they would have paid attention. And if they respected you, they would not require a lesson in basic decency. So rather than pouring your energy into making them understand your worth, focus on remembering it yourself. Focus on standing tall, speaking softly, and letting the way you treat yourself become a mirror they cannot ignore. The truth is, people will test the limits you set. They will push and pull to see if your boundaries bend under pressure. But your self-respect is not a rope to be tugged. It is a foundation. It does not move for those who cannot see your value. It does not shift to make others feel comfortable in their mistreatment. When you know who you are, when you truly believe in your own worth, their disregard begins to lose its power. It becomes background noise instead of a defining voice. There will be people who try to belittle you, not because you are small, but because they feel small around your light. They will question your choices, your boundaries, your silence. They will call you distant when you no longer allow them to disrupt your peace. Let them speak. Let them misunderstand. Because your self-respect does not answer to opinions rooted in disrespect. It stands quietly, unwavering, and lets your actions become your voice. When someone does not respect you, they are not qualified to shape how you see yourself. They do not get to write the story of your worth. So don't waste time editing yourself to please them. Don't dim your spirit to match their blindness. Stand in the truth of who you are. Remind yourself that you are not defined by their inability to honor you. You are defined by how gracefully you walk away from what no longer deserves your presence. You do not need to shout to be heard. You do not need to plead to be treated right. When your self-respect is intact, it does the speaking for you. It shows up in how you walk into a room, in the way you say no without guilt, in the way you refuse to chase after those who disregard your kindness. That is not pride. That is self-worth. That is the voice of someone who has finally decided to stop watering dead plants and start protecting their own garden. And yes, it might get lonely at times. When you begin to live by self-respect, you may lose people, but let them go, let them fall away, because those who cannot meet you at the level of your respect were never meant to stay. And what you lose in temporary company, you gain in peace, in clarity, in strength. You gain in the kind of solitude that heals rather than harms. Let your life be your loudest response.
Let your calm presence, your unwavering dignity, your refusal to settle speak volumes, and in doing so, you will attract people who do not question your worth, they honor it. You will draw in those who understand the language of respect because they speak it too. You will find that living in alignment with your truth is far more fulfilling than being accepted in spaces that don't value you. So when someone chooses not to respect you, do not lower yourself to explain what should have been evident from the start. Rise above, walk forward, let your self-respect be the quiet roar they never saw coming. There is a certain kind of wisdom that comes with time, a deep understanding that settles into your bones after you've been bruised by disappointment and scarred by the words and actions of those who never truly saw you. In that quiet, painful growth, you begin to realize a powerful truth. How someone treats you says everything about them and almost nothing about you. Their behavior is a mirror of their own inner world, not a reflection of your value. When someone disrespects you, belittles you, ignores you, or tries to make you feel unworthy, what they are really doing is revealing the state of their own heart. And that awareness can set you free. It's easy to take disrespect personally, to sit with the weight of someone else's cruelty and start questioning yourself, to replay conversations in your head, wondering if you could have done something differently, said something smarter, or acted more carefully. But none of that changes the truth. You are not responsible for someone else's inability to treat people with decency. You are not responsible for the emotional immaturity of someone who doesn't know how to communicate without cutting. You are not the reason they lack compassion. That burden does not belong to you. What belongs to you is your response. What belongs to you is your ability to see through the act and into the wound behind it. Because most people who are disrespectful are not truly strong. They are hurting, they are afraid, they are carrying unhealed parts of themselves and projecting those wounds onto anyone who comes close enough. That doesn't excuse the harm, but it does explain it. And when you understand this, you stop internalizing their actions as a commentary on your worth. Some people belittle others because they are deeply insecure. They elevate themselves by trying to bring someone else down. They confuse control with respect and arrogance with confidence. But your role is not to take on their pain. Your role is not to shrink yourself so they can feel taller. Your role is to step back, to breathe deeply, and to remind yourself again and again that how they behave is their responsibility. How you carry yourself in the face of it is yours. You cannot change someone who is committed to misunderstanding you. You cannot make someone respect you if they have not yet learned to respect themselves. That kind of change must come from within, and it is not your job to guide them through that journey. Your only job is to decide whether you will stay in a space that dishonors who you are, whether you will allow their wounds to keep wounding you, or whether you will take your power back, not with bitterness, but with clarity and grace. When you stop taking things personally, you reclaim your peace. You begin to walk with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that their worth is constant, no matter how others choose to see them. You don't need to argue or defend or explain. You just need to stay rooted in your truth, the truth that you are worthy of respect, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. And anyone who cannot offer that is showing you that they are not equipped to walk beside you. This is not about blame or pride. It's about awareness. It's about freeing yourself from the emotional chains of people who never learn how to love without hurting, how to speak without wounding, how to exist without dominating. Once you understand that their disrespect is not your identity, it loses its grip on your spirit. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop needing their validation and start honoring your own voice. And yes, sometimes that means letting go. Sometimes it means loving people from a distance. It means walking away not in anger, but in wisdom, not in silence, but in self-respect. And in doing so, you allow yourself to grow beyond the limitations others tried to place on you. You are not what they failed to see. You are not what they carelessly said. You are not the projection of their pain. You are steady, you are whole, and you are more than enough, even when they could not recognize it. There is something sacred about choosing to rise instead of retaliate. Something deeply powerful about deciding that your growth matters more than your ego, that your peace is more important than proving a point. When someone disrespects you, the temptation to react is strong, to match their energy, to respond with the same bitterness they throw at you, to make them feel what they made you feel. But in doing so, you anchor yourself to their level. You allow their actions to dictate your path. And you were never meant to stay small just because someone else cannot handle your light. Growth is not loud. It does not need an audience. It does not seek revenge. It happens quietly, in moments when you choose to hold your head high instead of breaking down, in the spaces where you decide to let go of what hurts you, not because it didn't matter, but because you've realized that carrying pain is too costly. It grows when you walk away from the table where respect is no longer being served, not with bitterness, but with a calm understanding that your journey cannot wait for those who refuse to grow. The truth is, not everyone is ready to meet you at the level of respect you offer. Some people are trapped in cycles of harm, unaware of how deeply they wound others. Some are so used to being careless that they no longer hear the sharpness of their words. And no matter how much kindness you offer, no matter how patiently you stand, they do not change. So you stop waiting, you stop begging for respect that should have been there all along. And instead you focus on becoming who you were always meant to be, not in their eyes, but in your own. Let your rise be your response. Let your growth speak the words you no longer need to say. When someone disrespects you, let them see what it looks like when grace refuses to fall apart. Let them watch you bloom in silence, flourish in stillness, and move forward with a kind of strength that does not seek applause. Because the best way to handle someone who tries to break your spirit is to become unbreakable in your purpose. You don't need to stay in places that challenge your peace. You don't need to prove anything to people who are not even listening. Your energy is precious. Your time is limited, and your life deserves to be built on foundations stronger than approval. Every time you rise, without turning back, you send a message not to them, but to yourself. A message that says, I choose healing. I choose progress. I choose me. This path you're on is not for those who refuse to grow. It is not for those who cling to comfort while causing pain. It is for you, for your future, for the person you're becoming. And every time you choose not to react with anger, every time you choose to walk away instead of strike back, every time you choose growth over games, you step further into the life you're creating. A life rooted in peace, in worth, in strength that does not need to shout. You may feel alone sometimes. Growth often feels lonely at first, because the more you rise, the more you outgrow the environments that once held you. But that loneliness is not a punishment. It is preparation. It is space being made for new connections, new peace, new purpose. And the people who truly value you will never put you in positions where you have to question your dignity. They will meet you with respect, with care, and with the same depth you offer. But until they arrive, you keep moving forward.
you keep choosing yourself. Let them talk, let them misunderstand, let them wonder why you didn't fight back, and let your life show them. Let your progress show them. Let your glow show them. Because the ones who try to pull you down are already beneath the level you've grown beyond. And you owe them nothing but distance. So rise, not with noise, but with purpose. Let your journey speak louder than any wound they try to leave behind. Let your peace shine through and keep moving in the direction of your growth. You were never meant to bend for the comfort of those who cannot see your worth. You were born with a quiet fire inside you, a voice that deserves to be heard, a heart that deserves to be honored. And while the world may not always respond with kindness, you have the power to choose how you show up with grace, with strength, with dignity that does not beg to be acknowledged. Let your self-worth lead you. Let your peace protect you. Let your silence speak louder than any insult ever could. May you continue to rise above what tries to pull you down. May you protect your light fiercely. Walk with your head high and never forget that your presence is powerful, even when unrecognized. Distance yourself from anything that threatens your calm and never trade your self-respect for someone else's approval. Good luck on your journey. May it be full of growth, love, and unwavering strength. Thank you for listening. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a voice inside you. A voice you've carried since the day you first opened your eyes to this world. Sometimes that voice is soft and warm, like the hum of a lullaby, but sometimes it whispers words that shake your bones, words that leave you standing at the edge of your own greatness, too afraid to step forward. That voice is self-doubt. Self-doubt will sit in your shadow, waiting. It will curl itself around your ankles when you rise to speak, when you dare to dream, when you stretch your hand toward the thing you know belongs to you. It will say, "Who do you think you are?" It will remind you of every mistake, every hesitation, every time you felt small. And if you listen, truly listen, it will convince you that you are not enough. There is a rhythm to the way we speak to ourselves, a cadence in the words we whisper when no one else is listening. Some words lift, and some words weigh heavy. And too often we speak doubt into our own bones before the world even gets a chance to. We say, "I'm not ready, I'm not strong enough. I'm not like them." We call ourselves unworthy before we even step into the light. But let me tell you something, your mind is always listening. Every word you speak, every thought you let settle in your spirit, your mind soaks it up like the earth drinks rain. And what you feed it, it grows. If you tell yourself you are small, your steps will shrink. If you tell yourself you are not good enough, your hands will tremble before they even reach for what you want. If you plant doubt, you will harvest hesitation. But just as the mind can learn fear, it can also learn power. Just as it can hold self-doubt, it can be filled with belief. You are not bound to the words you used yesterday. You are not locked into the fear that once ruled you. You can choose different words, stronger words. You can stand in the mirror and say, "I am ready, I am capable, I am more than enough." You can breathe life into your own spirit with the words you choose to hold close. And do not mistake this for empty affirmations, for surface level talk with no roots. No, this is something deeper. This is rewriting the story you've been telling yourself. This is knowing that every time you say, "I can," you train your mind to find ways to prove it. Every time you say, "I belong," you teach your spirit to step into rooms with confidence. Every time you say, "I am worthy," you silence the voice that once told you otherwise. Your unconscious mind is your foundation. It holds the lessons you've learned, the beliefs you've carried, the truths you've accepted. And the most beautiful thing about it, it does not argue, it does not question. It only absorbs. It takes what you give it and makes it real. So if you give it fear, it will build walls. But if you give it strength, it will build doors. Doors that lead you forward. Doors that open to opportunity, to courage, to everything you thought was out of reach. So be mindful of the words you place inside yourself.
Speak to yourself as you would to someone you love. Would you tell a child they aren't good enough? Would you tell a friend they should give up? No. Then why would you ever say it to yourself? Be as kind to your own spirit as you are to others. Lift yourself with the same hands you used to lift those around you. And when the old words try to creep back in, when the voice of doubt knocks, do not let it settle. Do not let it unpack its bags and make a home in your mind. Catch it in the act. Say no, not today, I choose better. I choose power. Because every taste doubt with belief, every time you refuse never fear, you are teaching your unconscious mind to work for you, not against you. You are the author of the story your mind tells itself. Make sure it is a story worth believing. Doubt is not born in a single moment. It does not arrive with a crash or a roar. No, it is quieter than that. It starts as a whisper, a fleeting thought that slips through the cracks of your confidence. It lingers, wrapping itself around your mind like a vine, growing stronger with every time you hesitate, with every time you question yourself. And before you know it, it is not just a passing thought, it has become a habit. But here's the truth. Just as doubt is learned, it can be unlearned. Just as fear is practiced, confidence can be practiced too. Every time you let self-doubt dictate your choices, you are strengthening it, reinforcing the idea that you are not ready, not worthy, not capable. But the opposite is just as true. Every time you choose to trust yourself, even when the fear is there, you weaken that old pattern of hesitation. You rewrite the script that has been playing in your mind for far too long. There is no magic moment when confidence suddenly arrives. It is not something that falls from the sky or is given to you by someone else. It is built day by day, choice by choice. It is strengthened every time you stand up and speak, even when your voice shakes. It is reinforced every time you take a step forward, even when your legs feel unsteady. It is created in the small moments, in the quiet choices to believe in yourself when no one is watching. Doubt will tell you that you must wait. Wait until you are better. Wait until you are stronger. Wait until the fear is gone. But waiting is just another name for fear. If you wait for self-doubt to disappear before you take action, you will stand in the same place forever. Because doubt does not leave on its own, it must be pushed out. It must be replaced with something stronger. It must be drowned out by the sound of your own courage. And do not think that courage means the absence of fear. No, courage is moving forward even with fear sitting on your shoulder. It is looking at self-doubt and saying, I see you, but you do not control me. It is choosing again and again to step into your power, even when you don't feel ready. You have to train your mind to choose belief over hesitation, and that training begins with action. Do the thing you are afraid of. Speak when your heart pounds. Step forward when your hands shake. Trust yourself even when doubt whispers otherwise. Because every time you do, you weaken the hold that self-doubt has on you. Every time you push through, you prove to yourself that you are capable. And one day, without even realizing it, you will look back and see that self-doubt has loosened its grip, that its voice has grown faint, that it no longer controls you. You are not bound by the fear you felt yesterday. You are not locked into the doubt you once believed. You are stronger than you know. And the moment you start acting like it, the moment you start moving like it, the world will begin to reflect that truth right back to you. There is a force inside you, one more powerful than fear, louder than doubt, deeper than any hesitation you have ever known. It does not second guess. It does not shrink. It does not question whether you are enough. It knows that you are. That force is your unconscious mind. And whether you realize it or not, it has been shaping your life from the very beginning. Your unconscious mind is always working. It absorbs every thought you think, every word you speak, every belief you allow to settle inside you. It does not argue. It does not filter. It simply takes what you give it, turns it into your reality. If you fill it with fear, it will find reasons for you to be afraid. If you feed it self-doubt, it will search for proof that you are not ready. But if you choose to fill it with strength, with the unshakable belief that you are capable, then that is what it will reflect back to you. This is why the words you speak to yourself matter. This is why your thoughts are not just passing moments, but building blocks for the life you create. If you say, I am not good enough, your unconscious mind will accept it as truth. If you say, I will fail, your mind will go making that failure a reality. But if you say, I am prepared, I am capable, I am more than ready, your mind will shift. It will search for ways to prove you right. It will work for you instead of against you. But belief alone is not enough. You must follow it with action. You must teach your unconscious mind what you want it to believe, not just with words, but with movement, with decisions, with proof. When you stand up and take action, even when doubt lingers in the back of your mind, you are rewiring yourself. You are showing your unconscious mind that confidence is the new truth, that fear is no longer in control. And make no mistake, this is not an overnight transformation. The doubts you have carried did not arrive in a single day, and they will not disappear in a single moment. But every time you make a choice that aligns with strength instead of fear, every time you replace hesitation with trust, you are shifting. You are moving toward the person you were always meant to be. You must guard your mind as if it were sacred, because it is. You must be careful with the thoughts you allow to take root, because they will grow. Do not water the seeds of fear. Do not feed the weeds of self-doubt. Instead, plant words of power. Water them daily with action, with persistence, with the unwavering decision to believe in yourself. And when you do, when you begin to live in alignment with the truth of your own strength, your unconscious mind will rise to meet you. It will clear the path. It will work in your favor. And suddenly, the very thing that once held you back will become the force that propels you forward. Fear has a way of slipping into your thoughts before you even realize it's there. It moves quietly, wrapping itself around your confidence, making you question what you already know deep down to be true. It does not need to shout. It only needs to whisper. What if you fail? What if you're not good enough? What if they see you fall? And before you know it, you've started believing the lies fear tells. But listen to me now, there is something inside you that is louder than fear. Something stronger, something greater, something that does not waver. It is the fire of purpose, the voice of truth, the undeniable force that exists within you. It does not ask permission. It does not need validation. It does not shrink in the face of doubt. It roars. When fear speaks, it only wants one thing: to keep you small. It wants you to hesitate, to wait, to second guess yourself until opportunity passes you by. But purpose calls you forward. Purpose pulls you towards something bigger than your fear, something greater than your hesitation. It does not wait for the perfect moment. It does not care if your hands shake or if your voice trembles. It only asks one thing of you: that you listen. And that is the difference between those who stay trapped by self-doubt and those who rise beyond it. The ones who rise do not live without fear. No, they feel it just like everyone else. But they do not let fear lead. They do not give it control. They choose moment by moment to listen to the voice that tells them to go anyway, to move forward anyway, to speak anyway, to take the step, to chase the dream, to trust that what is meant for them will not be kept from them. Because here's what fear doesn't want you to know: fear is temporary, but regret is not. Fear will leave the moment you step into your power, but regret lingers. Regret looks back and wonders what could have been, what should have been, what you were meant to do but never did. And you do not have time for regret. You do not have time to waste believing in your fear more than you believe in yourself. You must decide right now that the voice of purpose will be the one you listen to. You must stand firm in the knowledge that your fear is not stronger than you. It never has been. It only wins when you let it. But the moment you choose differently, the moment you let purpose guide you and station, you shift everything. You rewrite your story. You step into the person you were always meant to be. And when fear comes knocking again, you will know what to do. You will let it speak, but you will not obey. You will hear its words, but you will not follow them. Because you have already decided. You have already chosen. And when you do that, When you walk in the direction of your purpose, no matter how loud fear tries to be, you will finally see what has been waiting for you all along. The world will try to tell you who you are. It will press its opinions onto you, shape you with its expectations, hand you a name that does not belong to you and expect you to wear it without question. It will tell you to stay in line, to be smaller, to fit neatly inside the box it has built for you. And if you are not careful, you will start to believe it. You will let the world define you before you even have a chance to define yourself. But hear me now, you do not belong to the world's definition of you. You are not here to be molded by someone else's idea of what you should be. You are not meant to shrink yourself just so others feel more comfortable. You are not a collection of other people's opinions. You are not their doubts, their fears, their limitations. You are your own. You belong to your own power, your own mind, your own voice. And it is time you started living that way. Too often we let the voices of others drown out the voice inside us. We let their judgments become our truth. We let their expectations dictate what we believe we can and cannot do. We let the fear of rejection keep us from stepping fully into who we are meant to be. But let me tell you something, those who try to define you do not know the depth of you. They do not know the fire that burns inside you, the strength you carry, the dreams that call your name in the quiet hours of the night. They do not know what you are capable of because they have never stood where you stand. And yet, so many of us hand over our power without realizing it. We let one person's doubt plant a seed in our mind, and before we know it, we are living as if their doubt is fact. We stop ourselves before we even try. We silence our own voices before they are even heard. We live in fear of failing, not because we doubt ourselves, but because we have allowed the world to convince us that failure is something to be ashamed of. But failure is not the enemy. Conformity is. Living a life that does not belong to you is. Waking up every day and choosing to be less than what you are meant to be just to fit someone else's expectations, that is the real loss. You must take back your name. You must stand in front of the world and say, I define myself. You must believe without hesitation that you are more than their words, more than their opinions, more than the limits they try to place on you. And the only way to do that is to trust the voice inside you more than you trust the noise around you. So let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them try to put you in a box that was never meant for you. And then step out of it. Break free from it. Show them with every move you make that you will not be defined by anything other than the power within you. You are more than what they see. You are more than what they say. You are your own, and that is more than enough. There comes a moment when you have to decide, do you stay trapped in the comfort of your doubt, or do you step into the unknown and claim your growth? Because that's what doubt really is, isn't it? A comfortable cage. A place where you don't have to risk failure, where you don't have to put yourself on the line, where you can stay small and safe. But tell me, what has that doubt ever given you? Has it ever lifted you higher? Has it ever made you stronger? Has it ever led you to the life you dream of? No, doubt does not build. It only breaks. It does not push you forward. It holds you back. It whispers in your ear, what if you fail? And you listen. It tells you that you're not ready, not worthy, not enough, and you believe it. And all the while life moves on without you. Opportunities pass. Doors close more and keep spinning while you stand still waiting for the day when doubt no longer has a hold on you. But here's what you need to understand, that day will never come unless you make it come. Doubt will not disappear on its own. You cannot wait for confidence to show up before you take action. You cannot stand still and expect to feel ready. You have to move first. You have to step forward while the doubt still lingers, while your hands still shake, while your heart still pounds. Because that is how confidence is built. That is how you teach yourself that you are stronger than your hesitation. Growth is on the other side of action. Not thoughts, not plans. Action. And the only thing between you is a voice in your head telling you that you can't. But let me tell you something, if you can doubt yourself, you can also believe in yourself. If you have the ability to create fear in your own mind, then you also have the ability to create faith. The only difference is what you choose to feed. Doubt is like a fire that you keep fueling with hesitation. Every time you stop yourself from taking a step forward, you add to the flames. Every time you say, maybe I'll wait, the fire grows stronger. But the moment you act even in fear, even in uncertainty, you starve that fire. You take away its power. You shift the balance. And when you do that enough times, something incredible happens. One day you wake up and realize that the voice of doubt has grown quieter, that it no longer controls you, that you have moved so far beyond it, so far past the limits it once placed on you, that it no longer has a home in your mind. And that is the day you will understand you were never waiting to be ready. You were waiting to be brave. So be brave now. Step forward now. Choose growth now. Because the moment you stop letting doubt make your decisions, the moment you stop waiting and start moving, that is the moment you begin to become everything you were always meant to be. There is a moment right before you take a step forward when fear grips you the tightest. It pulls at you, holds you still, whispers all the reasons why you should wait, why you should turn back, why you should stay exactly where you are. And for too many people, that moment is where the journey ends. They listen to the voice of hesitation and they mistake it for wisdom. They believe that fear is a sign to stop instead of a sign that they are standing at the edge of something greater. But if you can understand one thing, let it be this: fear is not a stop sign. It is not a wall. It is not proof that you are not ready. Fear is a threshold. It is the doorway between who you are and who you are becoming. And the only way to become that person is to step through, to push past the fear, to move forward while it is still present, to understand that courage does not mean you are without fear. It means you refuse to let fear decide your fate. You see, too many people wait for the fear to go away before they take action. They tell themselves, once I feel more confident, I will start. Once I know for sure that I won't fail, I will begin. And so they wait. They wait for a moment that never comes. Because fear does not leave on its own. Confidence does not arrive like a sudden wave, washing over you without warning. No, confidence is built. It is something you create. And the only way to create it is by doing the very thing you are afraid of. Think of every person you admire, every person who has done something great, every person who has stood in their power and walked their path with strength. Do you think they were never afraid? Do you think they never doubted themselves, never questioned their ability, never faced the same hesitation you feel now? Of course they did. But they did not let it stop them. They moved anyway. They spoke anyway. They showed up again and again until their fear had no choice but to step aside. That is the choice you must make now. Will you let fear dictate your future? Will you let hesitation build the walls around your dreams? Or will you decide right here and now that fear does not get to hold the pen in the story of your life? Because at the end of the day, you have two choices. You can stay where you are, stuck in the loop of doubt and hesitation, or you can rise. You can push past the fear, step forward even when you don't feel ready, and become. And when you choose courage over comfort, action over hesitation, growth over fear, you will realize something powerful. Fear was never as strong as you thought it was. It only had the power you gave it. And the moment you take that power back, the moment you decide that you are greater than your doubt, that is the moment you step into everything you were always meant to be. You have always had the power, not in the absence of doubt, not in the silence of fear, but in the choice to rise despite them. You were never meant to live small, to let hesitation keep you from stepping into the life that is waiting for you. Every thought you think, every action you take, every belief you hold is shaping your future. And now you know the truth. You are not your doubts. You are not your fears. You are the force that moves beyond them. So go forward with confidence. Speak words that build, take steps that challenge, and trust that your unconscious mind is your greatest ally when you choose to fill it with strength. Let your purpose be louder than your fear, your action stronger than your hesitation. Stand in your truth, define yourself on your own terms, and never again let the weight of doubt hold you back from the life you are meant to live. The journey begins with a single decision, the decision to believe in yourself fully and unapologetically. And when you choose to step forward despite the fear, you will find that everything you have ever needed has been within you all along. Good luck on your journey. Believe in yourself, trust your power, and never stop moving forward. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear hearts, my seekers, my travelers on this winding road of life, let me ask you something. What sets your soul on fire? What makes your spirit stand up and declare, yes, this is where I belong? I have walked through valleys where the air was thick with doubt, climbed mountains where my legs ached with uncertainty. And in all my journeying, I have learned one simple truth. If you do not listen to your own heart, this world will try to tell you who you are. It will dress you up in expectations that don't fit, hand you dreams that do not belong to you, and whisper in your ear that you should be satisfied. But you, my dear, were not made to be ordinary. You were made to be real. You were made to be vast. So how do you figure out what you truly want? You listen, not to the noise, not to the voices of the world, but to that quiet, knowing place inside you, the place that hums when you are doing something you love, the place that stills when you are on the right path. Pay attention to what makes your heart beat faster, what makes time slip away unnoticed, what, when you speak of it, makes your voice rise with excitement. Your hands dance in the air as if your soul cannot contain itself. That is the thing, my dear. That is the thing. My dear hearts, if you wish to know what you truly want, you must first quiet the world. The world is loud. It is filled with voices telling you who you should be, what you should do, where you should go. It speaks through expectations, through traditions, through the well-meaning advice of those who believe they know what is best for you. But your truth, your deepest, most unshakable truth, does not shout. It does not demand. It waits. It waits in the silence, in the stillness, in the spaces where you allow yourself to simply be. Too often we are afraid of silence. We fill our days with noise, afraid of what we might hear if we stop and listen. We keep busy, distracted, occupied with 1,000 little things that do not matter, all because we fear the weight of our own truth pressing against our hearts. But my dear, if you truly want to know what your soul is aching for, you must be brave enough to listen. You must turn down the volume of the world and lean into the quiet where your own voice lives. And when you do, you may find that what you hear surprises you. Perhaps the dreams you have been chasing are not truly your own. Perhaps the life you have been building is made of someone else's bricks. Or perhaps deep down you have always known what you wanted but have been too afraid to admit it. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear that it is too late, that you are too old, that the door has already closed. But let me tell you something, your dreams are not foolish and your desires are not wrong. They are yours, and that is reason enough to honor them. You must get comfortable with your own company, comfortable with the rhythm of your own heartbeat, the sound of your own breath. You must strip away the layers of expectation until all that is left is your own knowing. What makes your spirit rise? What makes your body hum with excitement? What, when you think of it, makes your chest feel lighter, as if your soul is stretching towards something familiar? That is where your truth lives. That is where your answers are waiting. And you do not need permission to follow them. The world will try to convince you otherwise. It will tell you that you must be practical, that you must follow a path already carved by others. But tell me, who decides what is possible for you? Who decides what is practical for the heart that beats inside your chest? It is not the world. It is not the voices that try to shape you into something small and manageable. It is you, always you. So silence the noise. Make space for yourself. Step away from the expectations that do not fit, the paths that do not belong to you. Find stillness in your days. Sit with yourself.
Ask the questions that matter. And when your soul answers, do not ignore it. Do not explain it away or push it aside for the comfort of what is familiar. Your truth will not shout, but it will never abandon you. It will wait as long as it takes until you are ready to listen. And when you do, you will realize that what you have been searching for has always been within you, steady, unwavering, and waiting to be set free. Fear is a cunning thing. It wears many faces, whispers many lies. It tells you to stay where it is safe, to choose the known path, to quiet the wild hunger inside you. It pretends to be reason, disguises itself as caution, wraps itself around your dreams and squeezes until they are small enough to ignore. But my dear, you were not made for smallness. You were not made to shrink yourself into something easy, something manageable, something that does not disturb the world. You were made to burn. You were made to rise. And if you want to know what you truly desire, you must be willing to follow the fire, not the fear. The fire does not lie. It flares up inside you when you are near something meant for you. It glows in the moments when you feel most alive, most connected to the world, most yourself. It is the rush of excitement that courses through your veins when you think about something you love. It is the way time disappears when you are lost in a passion, how your body hums with the certainty that this is right, this is yours. That fire, that feeling is a compass. It points you toward what you truly want, but to follow it, you must first stop running from fear. Fear will try to convince you that the fire is dangerous. It will tell you that chasing your passion is reckless, that stepping into the unknown will lead to disaster. It will remind you of every failure, every rejection, every time you dared to reach for something more and fell short. But let me ask you, has fear ever given you anything other than regret? Has it ever built a life that felt like home? Fear only builds cages. And while they may be comfortable, they are still cages. You must be willing to step outside of them. You must choose the fire even when your hands shake, even when doubt clings to your ankles, even when every voice around you says, be careful. Because what if instead of failure, you find freedom? What if instead of regret, you find purpose? What if everything you have ever wanted is waiting for you on the other side of fear? It is not easy. The road toward what you truly desire is rarely smooth. It is filled with uncertainty, with moments where you will question yourself, where you will wonder if you made a mistake. But my dear, let me tell you something. Fear is loudest when you are on the edge of something beautiful. It will scream the moment you are about to step into the life that was meant for you, and that is how you will know you are close. Do not let fear steal what is yours. Do not let it convince you to settle for less than what sets your soul on fire. Fear will always be there, but it does not have to lead. Let passion take the reins. Let the fire guide you. Let yourself want what you truly want without apology, without hesitation, because a life lived in fear is no life at all. And you, my dear, were born to live. The truth is, your passion has been leaving clues for you all along. It is not some distant thing hidden away in the future, waiting for you to stumble upon it. It has been whispering to you, nudging you, showing up in the small moments that make you feel most alive. But so often we overlook these signs. We dismiss them, call them hobbies, distractions, things we do when we have time. We tell ourselves that what we love is not practical, not important, not something to be taken seriously. But my dear, what if I told you that the very thing you brush aside is the key to the life you have been searching for? Think about the moments that bring you joy, not just happiness, not just comfort, but real, deep, soul-stirring joy. The kind that makes you lose track of time, that makes your heart race, that makes the world around you disappear because in that moment, nothing else matters. Maybe it is the way your fingers move effortlessly over a piano, the way words flow from you like a river when you write.
The way your spirit lights up when you are teaching, building, creating, helping, dreaming, these are not coincidences. They are not accidents, they are signs. But we live in a world that teaches us to ignore them. We are told to be practical, to choose the safe route, to follow the path that has already been paved. We are told that passion is a luxury, that dreams are for children, that joy alone is not enough. And so we push our passions to the side, convince ourselves that they are nothing more than fleeting interests. But let me tell you something. What you are drawn to, what excites you, what comes naturally to you, that is not random. That is a map. And if you follow it, it will lead you home. Now, I am not saying the path will be easy. Following your passion does not mean that every day will be effortless, that you will never doubt yourself, never face obstacles. But here is the difference. When you are walking a path that is truly yours, even the struggles will feel different. Even the hard days will have meaning because you will know deep in your bones that you are exactly where you are meant to be. You do not need to have all the answers right now. You do not need to see the whole picture. You just need to start paying attention. Notice what makes you feel alive. Notice what you return to again and again, even when no one is watching, even when there is no reward, no recognition. Notice what feels like breathing to you, so natural, so effortless, that you cannot imagine life without it. That is your clue. That is your direction. And when you find it, do not let the world convince you to turn away. Do not let fear talk you out of it. Do not let practicality shrink your dreams into something manageable, something safe. Because the world does not need more people who have settled. It does not need more people who have ignored their fire for the sake of comfort. It needs people who are alive, who are awake, who are unafraid to follow the path meant for them. So trust the clues your passion is leaving for you. Trust that they are leading you somewhere beautiful, and most of all, trust yourself, because deep down you already know the way. Doubt has a way of creeping in like a shadow, whispering words that make you hesitate, second guess, and question every step you take. It is persistent, relentless, always waiting for the moment you start to believe in something bigger for yourself. It tells you to be careful, to think twice, to hold back just a little longer. And oh, how loud it can be, how convincing. But let me tell you something. Your truth does not need to shout. It does not fight to be heard. It does not beg for your attention. It simply is, steady and unshaken, waiting for you to trust it. The problem is we have spent so much time listening to doubt that we have forgotten how to recognize certainty. We have been conditioned to believe that the presence of fear means we should stop, that hesitation means something is wrong, that if we were truly on the right path, we would feel nothing but confidence. But that is not how truth works. Truth does not eliminate fear. It does not erase uncertainty. What it does, what it has always done, is remain. Think back to the moments in your life when you felt that quiet knowing deep in your bones. Maybe you couldn't explain it. Maybe you didn't even understand it fully, but something in you just knew. It could have been the way your heart settled when you made a decision that felt right. The way your entire being resisted when you tried to walk a path that wasn't meant for you. It could have been the way certain dreams refused to leave you, no matter how many times you tried to dismiss them. That is truth, that is certainty, and it does not waver. Doubt, on the other hand, is always shifting. It changes its story. One day it tells you that you are not good enough. The next day it tells you that you are too much. It will say you need more experience, then turn around and tell you that you are running out of time. It is never satisfied. It does not rest, because its job is not to guide you. It is to keep you still. And if you listen to it for too long, that is exactly what will happen. So how do you move forward when doubt is screaming and truth is whispering? You pay attention to the things
that remain. If a dream has been with you for years, if a desire keeps returning no matter how much you try to push it away, if an idea fills you with both excitement and fear at the same time, that is something worth noticing. Because truth does not fade. It does not leave you just because you ignore it. It stays quietly, patiently, waiting for the moment you are ready to trust it. And you must trust it. You must believe that the pull you feel is there for a reason. You must stop giving doubt the power to dictate your steps. You must stop mistaking its volume for wisdom. Because doubt will always be there, but so will truth, and only one of them is leading you home. Failure, that heavy word, that unwelcome guest, that thing we are taught to fear from the moment we learn to dream. It stands in the doorway of every possibility, arms crossed, shaking its head, warning us not to try. What if you fail, it whispers. What if you fall? What if you make a fool of yourself? And so many of us turn away before we ever begin. We let the fear of failure decide our future before we even step onto the path. But let me tell you something. Failure is not the end of the road. It is not proof that you are not meant for something. It is not a sign to turn back. Failure is a teacher, a refiner, a sculptor that shapes you into someone stronger, wiser, braver. Every step you take, every misstep, every mistake, every moment you wish you could do over, it is all part of the journey, and the journey is what shapes you. Think about a river making its way to the sea. It does not flow in a straight line. It twists and bends, sometimes blocked by rocks, sometimes forced to carve a new path. But does it stop? No. It keeps moving, reshaping the earth, finding another way, always pushing forward. That is how you must move through failure, not as if it is a dead end, but as if it is simply a bend in the road, a redirection, a lesson whispering, try again, but this time a little wiser. You see, failure is not an enemy. It is proof that you dare to try. It is proof that you took a step when others stood still. It is proof that you are not just dreaming, but doing. And if you fail, so what? So you get back up. So you adjust. So you take what you have learned and try again. Because the only true failure is in never trying at all. The people who have built lives of meaning, of passion, of purpose, they have failed more times than they can count. They have stumbled, they have fallen, they have questioned themselves. But do you know what separates them from the ones who never reached their dreams? They did not let failure stop them. They did not mistake a detour for a dead end. They understood that every time they failed, they were simply being given another chance to rise. And you, my dear, must do the same. Do not fear failure. Fear standing still. Fear never knowing what could have been because you were too afraid to begin. Fear looking back on your life and realizing that the only thing that held you back was the belief that you were not allowed to fail. You are allowed. You are allowed to fall. You are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to get it wrong before you get it right. Because every failure is simply a lesson in disguise. And as long as you are learning, as long as you are growing, as long as you are still moving toward the fire inside you, then you, my dear, have not failed at all. There is a knowing inside you, a deep, steady knowing that has been there since the beginning. It does not shout, it does not demand, it does not fight for space in the chaos of the world, but it is there, patient and unshaken, waiting for you to listen. The trouble is, we have been taught to ignore it. We have been taught to seek permission, to look outside ourselves for answers. We ask the world what we should do, who we should be, what path we should take. We let expectations shape our choices, let opinions cloud our vision, let fear hold the map to our future. And in doing so, we drown out the voice that has been guiding us all along. But if you would just be still, if you would just quiet the noise and listen, you would hear it, you would feel it, that gentle pull, that quiet certainty, that unshakable truth whispering, this is who you are. You have always known, haven't you? Even if you buried it beneath responsibility, even if you pushed it aside to fit the mold, even if you convinced yourself that it was unrealistic, impractical, impossible, you have always known. Maybe it was in the way your heart leapt when you thought about a certain dream. Maybe it was in the way your soul resisted when you tried to force yourself down a path that wasn't meant for you. Maybe it was in the small, undeniable moments when joy felt effortless, when time disappeared, when you felt, for just a moment, completely at home in yourself. That was your heart speaking. That was your truth trying to rise. And yet, doubt has a way of creeping in. It tells you that you are uncertain, that you are lost, that you do not know what you want. But let me tell you something. Uncertainty is not the absence of knowing. It is the fear of trusting what you already know. It is the fear of stepping into the life you were meant for, because that life may require you to change. It may require you to let go of the safe, the familiar, the expectations placed upon you. And that is not easy. But it is necessary because your heart already knows. And the longer you ignore it, the louder the world will try to convince you that you need to be something else, someone else, but you do not. You never did. The answers have never been outside of you. They have been here, inside you, all along. So trust it. Trust the quiet pull toward what feels like home. Trust the knowing that does not waver even when fear tries to shake it. Trust that you do not need anyone's permission to follow what is already yours. And when you do, when you finally surrender to the truth that has always been waiting for you, you will see that you were never lost. You were only waiting to listen. There comes a moment when you must decide, a moment when the weight of hesitation becomes heavier than the risk of stepping forward. A moment when you realize that all the waiting, all the wondering, all the hoping has brought you here to the edge of a choice. And here is the truth. No one can make it for you. No one can give you the certainty you crave, the perfect plan, the absolute guarantee that everything will work out exactly as you imagine. Life does not come with those promises. But what it does offer, what it has always offered, is an open door. And the choice to walk through it will always be yours. You have searched, you have questioned, you have listened to the fire within you. You have seen the signs, felt the pull, recognized the quiet truth that has been guiding you all along. But now you must act, because knowing is not enough. Feeling is not enough. Even wanting deeply and desperately is not enough. You must move, you must decide, and that is where many stop. Right at the edge, right when the dream is within reach. Because stepping forward means stepping into the unknown. It means surrendering the illusion of control, trusting the path even when you cannot see the whole map. It means walking away from comfort, from certainty, from everything that is familiar, and choosing instead to believe in what could be. And that, my dear, is terrifying. But it is also the only way forward. Because if you do not decide, life will decide for you. And life has a way of placing you where it is convenient, where it is easy, where it is safe. But safe is not the same as alive. Easy is not the same as fulfilled. And you, my dear, were not meant to stand at the edge forever, wondering what might have been if only you had been brave enough to leap. So take the step. Even if your hands shake, even if doubt lingers at your heels, even if fear tells you to wait just a little longer, take the step. Because waiting will not make the path clearer. Worrying will not make the choice easier. Only movement, only action, only the decision to begin will take you where you are meant to go. And once you begin, once you commit, once you choose to step into what is truly yours, you will wonder why you ever hesitated at all. Because on the other side of fear is everything you were searching for. And the only way to reach it is to decide that you will. Life is always speaking to you through the quiet pull of passion, through the fire that refuses to dim, through the lessons of failure, through the deep knowing that has lived inside you all along. Every step, every moment of doubt, every whisper of truth has led you here, not just to understanding, but to action. Because in the end, knowing what you want is not enough. You must trust it. You must choose it. You must step boldly toward it. Fear will always be there, but it does not own you. Doubt will try to stop you, but it does not define you. And failure is just a chapter, never the ending. You have everything you need to build the life that was meant for you. The vision, the passion, the strength, and most importantly, the choice. The choice to believe in yourself. The choice to take the step. The choice to finally claim what has been waiting for you all along. So go forward with courage. Go forward with faith in the fire inside you. Go forward knowing that you are not lost, you are not late, you are exactly where you need to be. The path is yours to walk. And I promise you, when you choose it, life will rise to meet you in ways you never imagined. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for your time, for your heart, and for the courage I know you will carry with you from this moment on.